Okay, Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, Jordan.
Okay, perfect. Um, so I'm just going to, I'm already recording. So I guess right at 10, you can admit everyone to the meeting room. And then just make sure to watch if anybody else pops in. I'll introduce you as well and say that you're just, you'll be in the background to help answer questions in the chat, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. All right.
Cool.
Just let me know when you're gonna, when people are in the room and ready.
So far, we have 2, 3. But they're leaving.
Yeah, so we can go ahead.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to QR Tiger's webinar series. My name's Jordan. I work mostly with enterprise solutions with QR Tiger, but I will be your host for the webinar today. I also have Alex here. He'll just kind of be in the background, answering, if anybody has any questions, please keep yourself muted. If you have questions, you can go ahead and type in the chat and Alex can, answer those. And then if you have any, more in-depth questions, we can also answer those at the end of today's webinar. So, all right, let's get started. So today's webinar is how the Matrix Revolution, how to maximize the use of QR codes for marketing and events. So what does your ideal QR code campaign look like? So that's a question you should be asking yourself. So QR codes can be used for a number of things. One, marketing products, right? In this example, we have some QR codes on potato chips, right? So maybe that is further information about the company or about their product. Maybe it links to a promotional video. We also use QR codes for tracking goods and services, right? So we can, use it to track packages, do inventory, and then as well as improving workflows and paperwork. So in this example here, we have an employee satisfaction survey. Maybe we're using it for, gathering employee data or even for career options as well, right? So instead of somebody filling out everything by hand, they scan the QR code and they submit an application digitally. So the types of QR codes, there are 2 different types of QR codes. That would be static and dynamic. So the first being static, a static QR code is fixed and dense, hard to scan, and cannot be edited, right? So it'll look something like this. It has a ton of little, pixels here. We're not able to update or change the URL, and we're not able to see any of those analytics behind it. Whereas with a dynamic QR code, it is way less dense, easier to scan, it can be updated and edited, and we are able to track all of those analytics, right? So what it means to edit a URL, so if you're using a URL feature, and say you deploy, for a marketing campaign, QR codes all over the country, and later on you're just wanting to change the destination of that QR code, right? So instead of having to replace all of those QR codes, you can on the back end go out ahead and edit that URL at any time. And as well as you have some trackable data. So the types of data you will see are time chart, device chart, map chart, and location chart. So in time chart, this is going to show you your unique scans versus your total scans, right? And unique scans meaning individual people scanning versus total scans altogether. Then in the device chart, we're going to see, if it was scanned by an iPhone, an Android, or if you used a short URL and it was clicked by a PC browser. Then we also have map chart. So in the map chart, this is going to show you, where in the world people are scanning, how many, that sort of thing. Whereas the location chart will break this down by number of scans, location, and device. So then moving forward, some QR code solutions. So we have many different QR codes, types, URL, vCard, file, social media, menu, H5, Google Form, multi-URL, App Store, Wi-Fi, MP3, and video. So first talking about URL code, right? This is pretty straightforward. URL code, right, is just a QR code that is connected to a URL. So super simple. While we go through these as well, this is a little bit interactive. So if you're wanting to see an example of any of these codes, you can go ahead and scan the QR code on the right-hand side here. So then moving on, we have vCard feature. Our vCard is essentially a digital business card, right? So you can see an example here. We have our traditional paper business card with a QR code attached. So the benefit to having this vCard, opposed to just, your traditional run-of-the-mill business paper business card, is the ability to save all the information, right? So you can see here, it looks something like this. If you want to scan here for an example as well. What I really love about the digital business card vCard feature is that the person who scans your vCard has two options. They can either save your information to their device or they can email it to themselves. So, I'm sure we've all lost a ton of paper business cards in our time. So this just helps eliminate that, and people are able to, more easily save your information. Next, we have file QR code. So for file, right, this is an upload of like a PDF, JPEG, PNG, that sort of thing. You don't have to have any sort of website or social media, you can just upload a file. So however, this file, depending on the plan you choose, does have some file size limits. Next up, we have our social media code. So this feature is one of my favorites. So this one is, instead of with like URL going to one page, you get a page that looks something like this, where your customer or your the person who's scanning your code has options, right? So in this case, this person is using it strictly for social media. However, the social media QR code capability goes beyond just social media. If you're familiar with Linktree, you can use it like that as well. So you can add in your external links, you can add phone number, email. If you're a restaurant, you can add your Grubhub or your Uber Eats, that sort of thing. So it's not just limited to social media here. And then moving forward with social media QR code individual pages. So if you are wanting to use, just for social media, maybe you want somebody to go right to your Facebook page or right to your Instagram, right to your Pinterest, you can have a more, specific and targeted approach, and you can link the QR code to go straight to that social media page. So, and then there's some examples here, one of Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn. Then moving forward, we have menu QR code. So this is if you are looking to upload a PDF of your restaurant's menu. We also have another software that is separate from QR Tiger called Menu Tiger. That is a little different. I'm just going to touch on it quickly. Menu Tiger is, if you sit down at a restaurant, you scan the QR code, you order from your phone, your order gets sent to the kitchen and they bring you your order to your table, right? That's what QR Tiger Menu Tiger is that more advanced menu feature, whereas this menu QR code is just the upload of a PDF menu. So then we have H5 code here. So if you want to see an example, go ahead and scan this right-hand side code here. So H5 is essentially our landing page feature. So you're able to upload, it works kind of like a Word document. It looks, very much like a landing page. So you're able to add external buttons, videos, audio, files, all sorts of things here. It's very customizable. You can also code as well. You can create your own templates. So if you have a team that's going in and using the software, you can, create templates that are already branded to your company as well to go ahead and use. Then we have Google Forms. So for Google Forms feature, this one, it could be either static or dynamic. But this is a good way to, gather information, get feedback, that sort of thing. Then moving forward, we have our multi-URL. So our multi-URL feature is one of our most popular, and it's based on 4 different types. So based on location, language, number of scans, and time. So for location-based, that use case would be if you were looking to direct somebody to a URL based on where they are located, right? So somebody in New York City scans, they get URL 1. Somebody in Pittsburgh scans, they get URL 2, so on and so forth. And then for languages will, if you are a company who has multiple sites for multiple languages. So for example, say maybe you have one in English, one in Spanish, and one in French. This QR code will recognize what language the user's device is in, and it will redirect them to that URL based on their language. Then for number of scans would be, the first 30 people who scan go to URL 1, the next 50 people who scan get URL 2, so on and so forth. And then lastly, we have time, which is what if you scan this QR code on the right-hand side here, you will see this will come up for the times. It'll direct you to a URL based on time of day. So next here we have the App Store QR code. So this is for iOS or Android. So we have the option to put both in for your apps. So wanting to direct people to your apps, this is, definitely essential for growing your business, getting more people to download that app. Next is our Wi-Fi feature. Our Wi-Fi feature is strictly static. However, this is one of my favorite features. Super handy in, whether it's an event or a retail setting or, a restaurant, whatever the case may be, the user scans a QR code and then they're automatically connected to the Wi-Fi. So this is a super, super handy feature. Then here we have our MP3 code. So MP3 would be an upload of any sort of audio file, right? So maybe you make music and you want to upload from your SoundCloud or an MP3 file that you have. Maybe it's a meditation, something like that. You're able to do that here. Then we have our video QR code. So with this one, user scans and they automatically pull up your video. So whether that's from YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, just those are just some examples of choices that you can use there. But you simply just use the link from your video and you upload the QR code. And that one's pretty straightforward, straight to the video. All right, so now moving on to maximizing your use of QR codes. So the first would be marketing and advertising, right? So maybe you're wanting to promote your products and services, drive more traffic to your websites, gain and collect more leads, or maybe you're just looking to increase your brand awareness and gain more customer engagement. Marketing and advertising is one of the, I would say, bigger reasons why customers use our QR codes. Another reason would be product tracking and inventory. So on the back end of things, right? So keeping yourself more organized. You can track products, you can manage your inventory, have efficient stock replenishments, and this reduces your manual errors if you were doing this manually, and improves your supply chain visibility. Here, this photo here is an example of them. They're using it for, managing their inventory, tracking their products. Whereas here, this is for, you ship something out and you're able to track that data and track where that package is at. So another reason would be employee IDs, right? So when we talked about vCard a little bit earlier, this isn't a great example. So say you send your employees out to a conference and you give them these badges, right? And on their badge, they have their digital vCard QR code where somebody can scan and immediately grab that information, right? So, and then they can save it, all of that good stuff. So this can quickly connect and share, contact information, eliminates the need for any manual data entry. We're not losing our paper business cards. It's way easier to network and stay in touch with people this way, saves a lot of time, and definitely improves efficiency for your information exchange. So here is just, an example, again, a little bit more up close of what that vCard would look like when scanned, right? And right here, you can say it says save to contacts. When you click that, it would give the option to either save to their device or to be emailed to themselves. Another one here is feedback and surveys, right? So maybe using a Google Forms feature QR code, we're able to, gather some information, streamline the collection of feedback and surveys. You can quickly spot, different trends with what people are thinking, address any concerns your customers or clients may be having, and then go ahead and make data-driven decisions based on that information that you've gathered. So yeah, your feedback matters. Here's an example of, how that would look on a device through a Google form. So next here we have source of data for smart campaigns. So here we're able to collect data on campaign interactions, help optimize future campaigns, and make data-driven decisions for better outcomes. So in this example here in this photo, this person scanned for a discount. So I just want to give an example of another use case for this. So, pretend this sign does not say 40% off. It just says scan for a promo code. You could use the multi-URL feature of number of scans. And so then you could have, okay, the first 100 people who scan get 40% off. And then the next, 200 people who scan get 10% off, so on and so forth. You can set that on a loop so it just goes. You can, add as many different variables as you want. But that's just another example of how, use case of how you could use that feature. So yeah, just going back to the analytics. So being able to see here, this is a screenshot down here on the left-hand side of what your QR code would look like in your dashboard, right? So you're going to see off the bat, you're going to see total scans, unique scans, location, and device. And then you're going to have some different options here. So if we were going to look at those analytics further, we're going to see, again, our time chart, our device chart, our map chart, and location chart. All right, and now let's talk through a couple different use cases. So one use case here is to use QR codes to promote your website or social media pages, right? So, here's an event, there's something that's going on, here's our QR code with all of the information. And then, it pulls up something like this, promoting those website or social media pages. Using QR codes to promote an upcoming TV series, right? So here's a good example of, we've been seeing a lot lately, the drone shows and all the crazy things they can do. You can even, set up your QR codes via drone show, have people scan. And that's a really fun way to do that as well. To offer discounts and promos, right? So we kind of already touched on that a little bit, but the QR code says, here's the sale going on, they scan, and then they're, reverted to the sale or the coupon code or whatever the case may be. Also to announce new products, right? So right here we have a beauty campaign, scan the QR code, and they're seeing, the newest beauty product available. So moving forward, we have some different integrations with QR Tiger. So one of them that we have is through Zapier. So if you're familiar with Zapier, you can, it's a marketplace with many different apps that you can connect. So anything within the Zapier marketplace that we don't have a direct, integration with, you can do through Zapier. And this is available in our advanced and premium plans. Next, we have a direct integration with HubSpot. So, using your QR code generator, you can customize QR codes with your branding and or your theme. We also have integration with Canva. So this is really taking your QR code design to the next level, being able to integrate those dynamic QR codes into your designs in Canva. Then we have Google Analytics, so connecting your campaigns, tracking those scans from a page view to conversion, being able to test and measure and improve the ROI of your campaigns. Then Google Tag Manager, so able to connect your QR Tiger dashboard to your GTM account and set up automatic bidding and retargeting campaigns to users who have engaged with your QR codes. And then lastly, we have integration with Monday.com. So, instantly turning those links of QR codes directly through Monday.com. So through that CRM, if that's one that you use. So next here we have bulk QR code generation. So this is a great feature if you are looking to generate QR codes in abundance. So for example, say you have 1,000 URLs you're wanting to generate QR codes for, you're able to upload a file of all of those URLs and generate in bulk, right? Instead of going in and going one by one, you can generate that in one fell swoop. So bulk is also available with vCard. So same thing, you have hundreds of employees and you're wanting to create vCards for them all, but going in one by one is pretty tedious. You can instead gather all of their information through, an Excel or a Google Doc. And then eventually you just want to make sure you convert that to a CSV, upload, generate, and then you have all of those vCards generated in bulk. And at this time, you can generate up to 3,000 QR codes at a time through this software. So if you had 4,000, then you would have to just do 2 uploads, right? 3,000 and then 1,000. And here you can generate bulk either statically or dynamically. So you do have some options there. So just some perks of QR code or QR Tiger. We're very reliable, 99.9% guaranteed service, uptime hosted in multiple countries on Amazon AWS. We are also scalable, so we have 60 billion clicks tracked yearly and counting, and an infrastructure that is set up to grow with you. So what we mean by that is, there are always things we can improve on as well, right? And we listen to our customers. If our customers are like, this feature would be really cool, it'd be really cool if we could do this. We listen to that and, we see what we can do and how we can make it happen. We are also fast, so we create up to 1,000 new branded clicks per second. So we have rapid auto scaling server clusters. We're also flexible, so we have 18,000 plus developers already using our APIs on thousands of dedicated projects. QR Tiger is also extremely safe. We are one of the most advanced safety tools. We have two-factor authentication, internal audits that are monitored 24/7 by human and AI. As far as safety goes as well, I'd like to mention we are ISO 27001 certified, which is a pretty tough certificate to get. We went through, many audits, but what that is a certificate for data information security internationally. So we take our safety and our data security very seriously. We have many clients who are, anything from hospitals to banks to, marketing firms, so we want to make sure that our customers, feel safe within us as well. And then lastly, we are GDPR compliant, which is EU privacy data anonymized prior to database storage. So just kind of to wrap up, all in all, QR Tiger is a very user-friendly interface. We have seamless integrations, those advanced bulk QR code generation, which is so handy. We have very competitive pricing, and we have a serious commitment to your data privacy. So yeah, thank you all. That's sort of all of the webinar today. I appreciate you all. If anybody has any questions, they can go ahead and type in the chat. It's kind of the time for that. You can also, send us an email if you have any questions. But yeah, so we'll remain on if anybody wants to ask anything in the chat. And Alex is also here to help answer questions as well. We will go ahead and stay on until about 10:30. And if no one has any questions, then we'll go ahead and end. Hi, Christine. So once the QR code is generated, you cannot edit the design of the code. With a dynamic QR code, you would be able, like for a V card, for example, which is a dynamic code, you could go in and edit the information inside the V card. But as far as the design of the code goes, at this time, you are not able to edit that. Okay, and Jan, hi. So I buy and sell Valkyrie watches out of Tampa and ship them internationally. How can I leverage on this technology? I mean, in many different ways, whether you want to use it internally for, tracking all of your inventory, as well as using it for marketing purposes, right? So, if you are doing it, if you are marketing internationally, right, you could use the features like the location where you have QR codes deployed in, New York City, you have them in London, you have them in Beijing, whatever the case may be. And you can have different QR codes for those different countries and those different places, and maybe they lead to different URLs or different different promos, that sort of thing. All right. Any other questions? You're welcome. And we also have many different plans, right? So we have our, our advanced and premium plans. And then we also have our enterprise-based plans, which are much more advanced. You have the ability to have like multiple team members, that sort of thing. So, if that's something you're looking for, as well as, if you're needing more than 600 dynamic codes, an enterprise plan would be something that you would be looking for over at advanced or premium. And if anyone is interested in anything like that, you can go ahead and submit to online on QR Tiger for a demo, and I will likely reach out to you. But okay, it doesn't seem like anybody else has any other questions. But of course, if anything pops up, feel free to, reach out to anyone on the QR Tiger team, and we would be happy to help. But yeah, thank you everyone for showing up. I hope this webinar was helpful, and I hope you all have a beautiful day.